18 months ago, I was still left with £45,000 of debt, all the way from £84,000 of debt, by the way. When my wife, I came home one day and she told me she was pregnant. I did not know what to do with myself. It seemed like everything had come crashing down from the point in which I had made the decision to be a clown and take the risk 4 years ago and put myself with all the interest added in £84,210 of debt. Now, when I found out I was having a son, I made a decision there and then that I did not want my boy to be born into a household where we were struggling in debt. So what happened was I decided to make a change and I worked over 100 hours a week from the point I was told. I stepped it up even more than 100 hours some weeks. And a year after my son was born, I sit here in front of you guys, debt free, over five figures in a savings account, started my investing journey, and I purchased my first property. It took a lot of hard work, and I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just letting you guys know that I am nothing special. And the purpose of this channel is to highlight all the lessons I learned from getting myself into over £84,000 of debt and what I did to build my way out of it and the lessons I learned, all the financial knowledge I learned, and how I am still building my way to ownership and growing as a man, as a husband, as a father. So, without further ado, welcome to the Ownership Circle, which will be a series where I come to you guys and I talk as try my best to add value as much as possible to you guys in any way, shape, or form that I can, whereby I learn and I speak. And as I grow and as I learn, I keep speaking. So who am I properly? Right? My name is Ugo the Eagle, and I am a husband, I am a father, and I manage children's home and I wrote the book From Overtime to Ownership, which breaks down my journey from getting into £84,000 of debt to becoming debt free. Writing that book, buying my first property, and going into investing while still working long hours and full time. The goal of this channel for you guys is, as I said, to build our lives, to build that ownership, which will build the wealth which we can pass down from generations to generations. How exactly did I get into this debt? I came to the UK 8 years ago with a dream to become a professional footballer, but that dream was cut short by COVID and rules that were not favorable to me and injuries as well. So I decided that right, I've been an ambitious person all my life. Let me try my best and make money in such a way that I could then pursue my football dreams without having to go work a job. So I started firstly with drop shipping. Right. I built a brand, got a manufacturer in China, started marketing, and I kept losing money. So a friend of mine came to me and told me, bro, you should try Forex. And he put me on something called an opportunity call, right? And I joined that opportunity call. And to be honest with you, they sold me real good. I loved everything I heard. Thinking back now, there was nothing about actual Forex talked about on that call. It was about the compensation scheme, an MLM. This was my first time coming in contact with things like this. So I was basically thrilled about the fact. So I went in there. We kept on being told about, pushing the system, pushing this academy. And that was the best way to make money. And so I started talking about it and I got people in. But I am the type of person who my word means a lot to me. So I decided if I'm bringing people into something, I need to actually know about this thing. So I started studying and I decided to go my own way. So I started researching a lot and I came to find about binary options. Now I got scammed with binary options. I made a few amounts of money, but in the grand scheme of things, I lost an account that had grown to over $200,000 because of a scam broker. So I decided to look more into the forex scenes, and this was during a period whereby there was these things called prop firms coming up left, right, and center. So I started taking these prop firm challenges, whereby you try and pass the challenge, and if you pass, you get funded money, and whatever you make, they pay you 70 to 80% of the profit. So I kept trying to pass these challenges, and every time you try and take a challenge, it costs a fee. So I was like, cool, let's try and take these challenges. And I kept trying to take them, fail constantly. And I was using borrowed money at this point to try and take these challenges. Eventually, I passed, and with luck and over risking, I made over $30,000 in the first month of fully passing, and I got paid out. I was amazed. I told every single person. I told people in this network marketing company. So I then got introduced to this crypto. This is something you should try and look at. Put your money into this could potentially change our lives, right? And for me, I was like, okay, let's risk it then. I'm 24 years old, naive and stupid. And what better way to showcase that than to put that whole 30,000 into the crypto. Now, to be fair, that money doubled. And I didn't know anything about rug pulls. I didn't know anything about crypto. So when I saw this, I was like, and we kept on saying everyone was spamming like, yo, this is going crazy. You don't want to miss the wave. And I was like, listen, I want to make everything with this. I want to become a shark in this crypto. Now, I was trading this prop firm, and I made like 40,000. I was expecting to be paid out like 32,000. So, but that was meant to come at the end of the next month. I couldn't wait to the end of the next month to miss this big move in the crypto. So I decided to then go and borrow money. Now, mind you, during this period, I had been building my credit score, so I had the means to actually get loans. So with credit cards and some loans, I added everything up and threw it all into the crypto. And guys, I am telling you, I saw that crypto go all the way up almost to $132,000 and come crashing down in hours to like $2,000. This was my experience of a rug pull. Now, I didn't believe this. I couldn't get myself to believe this had happened. I just said, you know what, that's fine. I am expecting a certain amount of money at the end of this month. I would use that to pay off the debt and, start again. Unfortunately for me, that company I was expecting to get paid out, I heard they were being investigated by the SEC and they got shut down. So I never got paid out that money. This took me on a spiral, a massive spiral. And the only way I could see myself getting out of that spiral was doing the stupid thing which got me into the spiral, which was trade and over risk. But I didn't have any more money anymore. So I had to go and keep borrowing. So I borrowed and I kept borrowing and kept blowing, kept trying to take challenges with other companies, kept losing the money, taking out credit cards, you putting money into trading accounts, loans, credit cards, personal loans from family. The moment that changed in my life was I had my girlfriend at the time want to move in with me. And I was like, I need to get myself together. So I sat down to calculate all my debt. And with the interest, it was around £84,210. I was shook. I could not believe this. I decided from that point, everything I knew or I thought I knew about money was wrong. I needed to go do a deep research on how to actually steward money, how to get myself out of debt, and how to actually build wealth. And for me, with the opportunities in front of me, the path I could take was work. So I started working over 100 hours a week, and it took me around 4 years from that point till today to be fully clear of that mistake. One mistake. It took one mistake to sacrifice 4 years of my life, a dream, my health, my physique, my hairline because of that. But, another day above the ground is a good day. I learned a lot from that journey. Within that journey, I studied a lot. And it's that study that kept me going through that process. And it's with that information I actually began the journey of investing and decided to buy my first property. And hopefully, with time, I will be explaining my goals moving forward and how I plan to basically change the course of my stupidity to change the course of my family's life. So, welcome to the ownership circle. And I hope that as we go along on this journey, you will gain value. You will learn from my mistakes so you don't have to make yours. And, we'll build a community right here of the type of people looking to solve and change their lineage. So, the first thing I want to explain is the part people get wrong about my story. A lot of people think that because I've come out now and I'm talking about working 100 hours a week, that I am somehow expecting every single person to go and work 100 hours a week. Understand the learning I have gone through and the suffering I have gone through. My goal is to catch you before you get there. Unfortunately, if you already are there, this might have to be the pathway. If you're not there, but you're on that pathway to get there, please turn around now because it's going to cost you a whole lot. I worked and I focused on getting debt free. And when I became debt free, I looked around and all I could see was, yes, I was debt free, but I was not financially free. I literally just got from minus to zero. So if you are at zero, you are even better than where I was the start of this year. If you don't owe anybody, but you don't have savings, you don't have anything, that's fine. You're still better off than I was the start of this year. So it is not over. You can start your journey today. My goal is to be honest. I'm not trying to act like I know anything or I know everything. I'm not shouting to let you guys know, do this, do that. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing, what I'm learning. And you guys can always comment wherever you guys are doing that's working. I'm open to learning. But as I learn, I would explain. At no point will I be giving financial advice, so please do your research for whatever you hear on this journey with me. So if this seems like something you are interested in, please ensure you give this a like, a subscribe. And if you want to find out more about my journey from overtime to ownership and everything I've learned and how you can go on that path, link below to get my blueprint, the bundle, which is the book and my budget tracker and a few other goodies for you guys. This video will be sponsored by that bundle. So thank you guys. Everything on this channel is going to fit around 5 pillars. Rebuilding, so that's from debt to building out of debt. The process, the tracking, the hard work, the sacrifice, putting your life together. This will be the first template. This will be the first step. When you are out of debt, the savings, the knowledge of savings, investing. I'll be talking about the things I'm learning in investing in property, buying property, whatever, investing in the stock market, being a father. I've got an 11-month-old now, blessed and highly favored for that. My journey into fatherhood and husbandhood. I am the manager and leader of a residential home. It takes a lot of learning and a lot of leading. And things I learned from that, I hope I can add value. And the mindset on money, right? And standard and sacrifice. As I told you guys, I sacrificed my health. I gained over 45 kg on this journey. Some of it muscle, but a lot of it fat. So I'm also going on that journey. So, faith, finances, fitness, family, these are the pillars. So if any of these sound interesting for you guys, listen, you guys can see already, I'm just getting started. Nothing fancy, still learning, still growing. My goal is to be building 2 videos a week on these topics. Based off what you guys want to hear next, what you guys want to see next, 2 videos a week. If there's a question that you want to ask, please drop in the comments. Or if you disagree with me, of course, tell me why. I would really love to know. Okay? Now, the entire channel is, of course, built over ownership. And I think this is a conversation around money and assets and liabilities that the culture is not really having. The culture is not having enough of these conversations. Everyone is so focused on income, and it seems like that's where it ends. It seems like a lot of people constantly are living paycheck to paycheck without understanding the system. So as I grow to understand and try to push from paycheck to paycheck, that's the discussions we'll be having, right? A lot of people are not really understanding the value of investing, the reason why we should be investing, the purpose of investing. We'll be having those conversations. There are two types of people. There are those who work and their goal is to work till retirement, and there are the people who are hustlers, do side hustles. Now, within those environments, there are still successes and failures. Understand, you can be a success working for somebody else, and you can be a failure working for yourself. The whole internet right now is constantly talking about trying to be an entrepreneur. And that's the dream if you actually put in the work. But there is something fundamental a lot of people seem to be missing, which is ownership comes in many forms. A person who makes money by means of working and getting a salary can still build ownership. And the person who makes money by means of having their own solopreneur business or self-employed situation, sometimes even business could run out of everything if they don't have the fundamentals of savings, living below their means, and investing. So this topic, regardless of how we like to put it, is very fundamental to our being. We all need to have these conversations. The number one cause of divorce is finances. Understand that if we don't have these conversations, there is no growth. We need to have these conversations. So, this is just the start. I want to be able to add value, and I hope you can gain value and you can take the value and it adds to your life. We're just getting started. See you in the next one. Until then, peace and love. Have a blessed and peaceful day.